Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Module 1 of the You Thrive Entrepreneurship Training, brought to you by Access Bank and Clears Advisory. I'm so excited to have you all here. Looking forward to another fun-packed 1 hour, packed with a lot of insight, ideas, learning, and thought leadership around a special topic of innovative entrepreneurship. You're all welcome. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So first of all, we want to go to the fundamentals by asking ourselves, what is the purpose of business? What is the purpose of business? And to answer that question, we will look at different people who have excelled in the pursuit of business. And we'll start with Elon Musk. Do we know who Elon Musk is? Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world. He's the founder of PayPal. He's the founder of Tesla. He's the founder of SpaceX. He's a very successful businessman. And Elon Musk once said, when they asked him what inspires him and what intrigues him in business, Elon Musk said, I'm interested in things that change the world or that affect the future, and wondrous new technology where you see it and you're like, wow, how did that even happen? How is that possible? So that's what Elon Musk said, that he's interested in things that change the world and affect the future. Let's move over to Dennis Back, who is another renowned entrepreneur and business person. Dennis said, profits are to business as breathing is to life. Breathing is essential to life, but is not the purpose for living. Similarly, profits are essential for the existence of a corporation, but they are not the reason for its existence. Those are iconic words. In other words, how many of you are breathing? Obviously, everybody that is here on this call, in order to be on this call, you need to be breathing. So it's a prerequisite to be alive. However, breathing is not your purpose of being alive. Meaning, you have to have a deeper meaning to your life. You can't just wake up and say, thank God, my purpose, at least I'm breathing, I'm good. There has to be something more meaningful driving you. So that's just how profit is to a business. Profit is essential to a business because any business that is not profitable cannot succeed, cannot exist. But there has to be more to a corporation. There has to be more to a business. There has to be a mission, a deeper mission than merely profits. So that's what Dennis said. And then we move over to Richard Branson. We all know Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group that, at a point came into Nigeria. So when asked in an interview, Richard Branson said, I never wanted to be a businessman. I just wanted to change the world. He said, I never wanted to be a businessman. I just wanted to change the world. And business for him became his vehicle or his instrument for actually changing the world. Then finally, last but not least, we have Mark Zuckerberg. Everybody knows Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg has been to Nigeria. Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook. He bought Instagram. He's a poster child. He's the face of social networks. He's the face of technology entrepreneurship. He's the face of social media. So Mark Zuckerberg was once asked in an interview, and he said, the purpose of business is not to create a company, but to change the world. I love what I'm seeing in the chat. Solomon said, I want to also change the world. Fabulous. Solomon, right behind you. Okay, very good. So what do all these 4 people have in mind or have in common? What they all have in common is that their dream or their understanding of business is similar to, I can see Abdul Majid Ibrahim saying, I want to bring positive change in my community. Very good. So they all have the same philosophy about business. Elon Musk said, I'm interested in things that change the world. Dennis said, profits are essential for a business, but they're not the reason for its existence, meaning there has to be something deeper. Richard Branson said, I never wanted to be a businessman. I want to change the world. And Mark Zuckerberg said, the purpose of business is not to create a company, but to change the world. Okay, looking at Aisha Abdurrahman in the chat, she said, by God's grace, I will also change the world. Woo, we're rooting for you. Ahmed Garba said, I'm changing the world using my business. Perfect. Umar Adam says, I want to change the world too. Very good, very good, very good, very good. So I can see it resonating with you. Abubakar Abdul Kadir Ahmad, I want to change the world positively. Yes. Yaya Yusuf. Business is all about changing the world. Yes. Okay. Ifeanyi Eleribe, I want to make impact on humanity. Very good. Anete Akwan, mine is to contribute my quota to the nation and my generation. Very good. Abubakar Magaji, I want to bring positive change in my local government, Dandume local government area of Katsina State. Very good. Mustafa Abdullah, he says, even me, I want to change the change. Very good. So, yes. Okay, I can't miss this comment. Tamarebi Gomeromo says, business is passion driven, and this initiative by Access Bank has ignited a passion in me. That's what we love to hear. Very good, very good. Okay, so that is all about the purpose of business. These business superstars have told us that business is about changing the world. And so you probably now want to ask, okay, so why should I even think? What's the benefit of thinking like a change agent in business? So first of all, when you're a change agent in business, you see the big picture. You're able to understand what's the broader context and goals of the company. You see beyond just the day-to-day. So someone else just be saying, I'm just posting, I'm just attending to customers. But when you think like a change agent, you grasp the overall strategy. And this helps you make decisions that are aligned to your company's long-term vision. Secondly, when you think like a change agent, it gives you tenacity and drive. Tenacity means resilience, meaning ability to stick to something despite challenges. In the business world, as we all know, it's not a bed of roses, and facing challenges is common. When you think like a change agent, it means you have the tenacity and the drive to overcome these obstacles. You stay motivated to implement positive change, you push through difficulties, and you adapt to changing situations by contributing to your resilience. So a tenacious person is resilient. A tenacious person implements change. A tenacious person overcomes obstacles. And when you think like a change agent, all these things will eventually come your way. Also, when you think like a change agent, it gives you a roadmap. A change agent in business is like a strategist. Somebody says strategist. You need to be strategic. So a change agent is able to develop a roadmap or a plan for achieving its business goals and objectives. And this plan is broken down into steps. The steps are broken down into milestones, and the milestones have timelines attached to it. That's how you run a business. You have to have a roadmap. So, so being a change agent in business also enhances your goodwill and your reputation. So, for example, we all know that a good reputation is very important in the business world. When you think like a change agent, people don't see you as somebody that wants to take advantage of them or is trying to exploit. People see you as someone that is making positive contribution to them and their stakeholders. So when you have this kind of approach, it enhances your reputation in the organization and in the broader business community. So in summary, again, when you think like a change agent, you see the big picture, you have tenacity and drive, it gives you a roadmap, and it enhances your goodwill and your reputation. So thinking like a change agent in a business setting is not just about personal development, but also about driving positive change that benefits the company as a whole. It helps you align your efforts with the company's strategy and makes you an instrumental force in navigating change and fostering a positive business environment. So those are all the benefits of thinking like a change agent. Okay, let me read the chat. Sanusi Yusuf, to be a change agent, you need to plan. Yes. Amir Abdullahi Hassan, by God's grace, I will change the position of my dear family. Very good. Abubakar Haji Modu, with business, we will change the world. I love that. I love that. I love that. Haruna Shuaibu, change is the only thing that remains constant in life. We shall make positive changes. Very good. Jefta Terman, I may change both the rural and urban areas by God's grace. Very good. Alex, I'm already an entrepreneur who's making an impact in the system, but I want to scale up to employ more workers. Very good. Okay, yeah, so that's true. So even though the understanding is that many of you are growth entrepreneurs, you've been running business for a while, you've been doing your business for a while, but I agree, I'm sure you agree with me that with a project or a program like You Thrive gives you an opportunity to relook what is your philosophy to this business, why are you doing what you're doing, and how can you refresh? So this is an opportunity. Even though many of you are already business owners, this is an opportunity for you to refresh your approach. Right. Okay. So now, next thing we'll now look at, what are the qualities of an entrepreneurial change agent? An entrepreneurial change agent is someone that, first of all, makes a difference in people's lives. An entrepreneurial change agent is driven by a desire to create positive impact. This involves developing products, services, or solutions that improve the lives of people. Whether you're addressing a specific need, could be healthcare, could be education, could be agriculture, or you're solving a problem, or you're enhancing an experience, your focus is on making a tangible and meaningful difference. Very good. So the second quality of an entrepreneurial change agent is that they improve the way the world works and lives. Change agents in entrepreneurship aim to contribute to a broader positive transformation. They seek innovations that not just benefit individuals, but can also improve society and norms. So, meaning they can introduce new technology, new business models. If you don't know what a business model is, we'll talk about it in our next section. Or approaches that lead to positive change on a large scale. Also, an entrepreneurial change agent prioritizes social responsibility and sustainability. Entrepreneurial change agents are conscious of the impact they have on society and on the environment. So they're very careful to integrate social responsibility and sustainability into their business practices. So from sourcing materials, so ask yourself, we all want to be entrepreneurial change agents, but the way you source, it starts from even the way you source your materials. Is it ethical? Are you being ethical? It talks about your processes. Are they environmentally friendly? Or are you contributing to pollution and the environment without even knowing? The way you dispose of your waste, the way how you conduct your business processes. Are they environmentally friendly? And then, do you contribute to the well-being of your community? Are you adding or are you subtracting from the well-being of your community? So by the time you prioritize all these values, it will align you with the broader commitment to change. Then, challenging the status quo. Change agents in entrepreneurship, they're not just willing to leave things the way they met it. They want to challenge the status quo. They want to disrupt the traditional ways of doing things. They always believe there can be a better way. Somebody type better way. There can be a better way. And so change agents in entrepreneurship, they question assumptions, they embrace creativity, and even sometimes, even when they face resistance, they continue to be innovative. So in summary, an entrepreneurial change agent possesses qualities that go beyond mere profit making and extends to creating positive social impact, challenging paradigms, and fostering sustainability. So by doing all this, entrepreneurial change agents leave a lasting positive mark on the world. Okay, Bashir Aminu, business is about making the necessary adjustments in all aspects of life, making impact in people's lives, and also making profit. Very good. Abubakar Mohammed, to be a change agent, you have to plan and focus. Very good. Lukman Abubakar, innovative thinking and positive change is my wish, always. Very good. Ifani Chukwu and Ebeli, I'm ready to change my community. Very good. Okay, all right. So I can see we're all on board. So let's do a quick poll. Let's do a quick poll now. Let me see how well all of you are following. Um, who is an entrepreneurial change agent? All right, poll is out. Oh, nobody is responding. Okay, all right, 100%. Well, everybody's on board. Entrepreneurial change agent is okay. Okay, 98%. Okay, let's. Entrepreneurial change agent is someone whose business makes it very good. So we all know what an entrepreneurial change agent is, and hopefully we want to be entrepreneurial change agents ourselves. Okay, so it's one thing to know that you need to be a change agent and you need to be into what we call the innovative entrepreneurship life cycle. So as many of you know, I mentioned earlier that I have a doctorate in entrepreneurship. So I've studied, so in addition to running my own business, I've also studied entrepreneurship in different industries, and I've come up with some insights that I'll be sharing with you on the call now. First of all, the facts or the statistics around entrepreneurship failure are can be discouraging if you're not careful. You know, so for instance, research shows that globally, about 50% of only 50% of new businesses survive in the first 5 years, and only 30% make it past 10 years. Wow, isn't that something to ponder? In fact, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, about 20% of new businesses fail in the first 2 years, 45% in the first 5 years, and 65% during the first 10 years. Somebody type, I won't be a failure statistic. We don't want to be failure statistics here. We want to be statistics of success, you know. So we now people so when I came across these statistics, I now started to ask myself, so what is the cure for entrepreneurial failure? You know, is it capital? Is it capital that it reduces entrepreneurial failure? That's the first question that came to my mind. And when I now started to, that is a conventional, even here on the call, I can count how many times people have been saying, how much is Access Bank giving us? We need investment, we need investment, we need investment. So that's the traditional or the conventional way of looking at it, that capital is the cure for entrepreneurial failure. However, once you look at what it now means, when you look at a country like the US, that's the richest country in the world, you find out that their rate of failure is higher than startup failure in Africa, which does not have so much capital. So that now puts a huge question mark on capital being the cure for entrepreneurial failure. If capital is the cure for entrepreneurial failure, then that means businesses in the US should survive more than African businesses, but the reverse is the case. African businesses actually survive longer than American businesses. And so to study this phenomenon more closely, I looked at the fintech industry, the African fintech industry, and I began to study change readiness in the African fintech industry. And I realized that there are three mistakes people typically make when it comes to running a business. So the first is focusing on investors rather than on the market. Now, even though securing investments is important, I'll be the first to say it's important. However, a sustainable business is built on delivering value to customers. When you focus on market demand, it ensures that your business is viable in the long run. Second mistake, engaging individuals rather than communities. You need to recognize that community is very important. So by the time you build strong relationships and engage with communities, it helps you create a supportive customer base. Individuals make transactions, but communities build businesses. The third mistake is celebrating external fundraising rather than external validation. I'm sure many of you have seen it in the papers. Company A has raised $1 million for their Series A. Company B has raised $500,000 for their seed round. Company C has raised $200,000 for their pre-seed. So these are how people usually, these are milestones people usually celebrate. But I realized it's more important for you to celebrate other things, such as customer satisfaction, positive reviews, market recognition. When you celebrate all these achievements, even regulatory compliance, meeting up with the requirements of the government, when you celebrate all these factors, then you're able to build support and trust within the broader ecosystem. In summary, these insights show us the importance of taking a holistic view of entrepreneurship, seeing the broader view. Success is not just capital, but also requires you to have a deep understanding of the market, requires you to be adaptable to change, and also to focus on building relationships and communities. So I hope you will all avoid all these common mistakes as you seek long-term success in your business. Now, having seen that the previous slide showed us that entrepreneurial failure is very common, I now decided to dive deeply to determine what are the causes of entrepreneurial failure. These are some of the causes I found out. First of all, pursuing the wrong opportunity. Not every business idea is a business opportunity. I hope you know, not every business idea is a business opportunity, is a good business opportunity. Sometimes, if you lack market demand, the market doesn't want what you are offering. If your business model is flawed, if you don't understand the competition, all these things can be indicators that you're pursuing the wrong opportunity. You need to conduct thorough market research and analyze your market so that you identify a viable opportunity. Somebody say, I want to identify a viable opportunity. Also, second cause of entrepreneurial failure is when you don't have enough knowledge of branding and product development. A brand differentiates you in the market. Some of you, there's no difference in what you're offering and what your next door neighbor is offering. A successful entrepreneur builds a strong brand and continues to improve and innovate to meet customer needs and preferences. The third reason why entrepreneurs fail is lack of commitment. When you lack commitment amongst team members, it can affect progress. For you to be successful, you need to have a team working together toward common goals. You don't want to be that entrepreneur that your employees only work hard when you're around. When they see you, the guy is around, and they're scrambling all over the place. As soon as you go, it's gone. And then they go back and sit down and, to your tents of Israel, or, they go back to the status quo. You need to build a cohesive and dedicated team that works towards common goals. Because when they don't have a common goal, it ends up leading to failure. Social capital. This might be the first time you're hearing it. Social capital means networks, relationships, and connections that you need in business. When you don't have the right social capital, it can limit your access to resources, partnerships, and market insights. Next, poor marketing and customer experience strategy. If you don't have good marketing strategy, you won't be visible. You need to be visible. And when you're not visible, you can't acquire customers. And when you don't acquire customers, then even customer retention, because you can't even retain the customers you don't have. So as an entrepreneur, you need to understand your target audience and craft strong marketing messages to attract them. Finally, lack of capital. When you don't have the right financial resources, it can reduce your ability to grow and expand. As an entrepreneur, you need access to capital in order for you to pay your bills, meet your operational expenses, market, develop a product, and even scale. So if you don't have that funding, you might struggle to be competitive. In conclusion, by the time you understand and address these causes of failure, it can significantly improve the chance of your business succeeding. Good. So what is the antidote, or what is the solution to all these causes of failure? That is where the innovative entrepreneurship life cycle comes in, which is the next thing we're going to discuss. And innovative entrepreneurship life cycle has to do the 6 aspects of this life cycle might be a bit difficult for you to remember. So just use the acronym IMPACT. Impact stands for I stands for identify the opportunity. M stands for market the unique solution. P stands for pull together the dream team. A stands for align with strategic partners. C stands for celebrate growth. And T stands for tell the vision of the future. So the acronym for the innovative entrepreneurship life cycle is otherwise known as IMPACT. Somebody say impact. So just to explain each of them quickly, if you notice these impact acronym, these are all the modules of the training, the Youth Tribe training that we're going to be taking you through. So we're going to take you through this life cycle one by one, so that you understand exactly what they all entail. So first of all, identify the opportunity. Like I said, you need first of all start by identifying your target niche, doing market research, and then finding out area where you can have an impact. Second, market your unique solution. Create a strong brand and a good value proposition. Third, put together the dream team. You can't really do it alone, so you probably need to build a good team that will execute the business plan. Then align with strategic partners. Forge the right partnerships with people that will help you access new markets and accelerate growth. We'll show you how to do that. Then as you start growing and gaining traction, you need to celebrate this growth. Growth happens through marketing, customer experience, sales. So we'll take you through that. And then finally, we'll help you communicate. You need to communicate the vision of your future, the future of your business. So what are your long-term goals? What are your expansion plans? And this will inspire people to have a shared sense of purpose about your business. So again, this is the life cycle. Identify the opportunity, market the unique solution, pull together the dream team, align with strategic partners, celebrate growth, and tell the vision of the future. So now let me share this poll. Let me administer another poll so that we'll see how many of you are following. All right. It's on now. What is the acronym for the innovative entrepreneurship life cycle? Perfect. Impact. I can see we're all on top of it. So it's impact. Very good. I'm pleased. All right, this is 100% success rate. All right, so now let's proceed to I'm sure now you're like, okay, this innovative entrepreneurship life cycle. It sounds interesting. Me too, I want to make impact, but who has done it? Like as most entrepreneurs can be skeptical, so they want to know, where has it happened before? Who follows it? I've heard of business model, I've heard of lean startup. Which one is innovative entrepreneurship life cycle? Well, the reality is that when you look at different successful businesses around the world, most of the successful businesses around the world have been innovative enterprises. And I'm going to walk us through a good number of case studies now, so that we'll see how this innovative entrepreneurship life cycle has been playing out in popular companies that we're all familiar with. So let's start. Starting with Intuit QuickBooks. Intuit QuickBooks. Many of you that have that buy account, maybe you have accounting software that you use to run your business, or you use to track your financials. You've probably heard of QuickBooks, right? If you heard about it, you can type it in the chat. QuickBooks is an accounting software that's very popular among small businesses. So the opportunity was recognized opportunity for QuickBooks was identified in 1982 when the founder's wife complained about the time wasted reviewing and paying bills. She was a business owner and she was like, why is it so complicated to always, spend time reviewing and paying bills? And then that gave her husband an idea. Okay, why don't I come up with a software that can reduce this time wasted? In terms of branding and product development, in 1984, the company was initially called Quick Check. That was the first name for the business. Then in 1984, they recruited a co-founder from Stanford University. That was their team building. Then strategic partnerships. Between 1984 and 1985, they found out they were not able to raise money for the huge advertising campaign that they needed to get on retail shelves around the country. And so they turned to banks for distribution. So they signed up with banks such as Wells Fargo and the Bank of Hawaii as their distribution partners. In 1986, they then made a huge investment in a massive advertising campaign. It's what we call a bet the farm investment. You know, when they say you risk your whole livelihood. That's what we call bet the farm. So, they just bet their whole, everything they put together, all their money together and invested in that massive advertising campaign. And it paid off because by 1989, they started winning awards as the most innovative software to use and the best at addressing customers' needs. They were very dedicated to customer research and customer support, and that's part of why they were so successful. Finally, in 1990, they started to speak about how to expand with Microsoft and other technology giants, and today they're a world-class brand. Now let's come home to Nigeria, to Africa. Let's start with Andela. We look at Andela. How did Andela recognize the opportunity? The founders of Andela recognized that there's a shortage of skilled software engineers in the world. So all around the world, in the US, people were always looking for skilled software engineers. Meanwhile, we had many Africans that had talent, but they just didn't have the opportunity to work for all these global tech companies, And so that gave them an idea that why don't they set up Andela? They had a tagline that talent is evenly distributed, but opportunity is not. Meaning, there's talent everywhere. There's talent in Nigeria, there's talent in Katsina, there's talent in Lagos, but not everybody has opportunities. So they set up Andela to train Africans in tech and then match them to jobs globally. In terms of their brand, unlike Indian companies like Infosys, Wipro, and Tata, they aim to compete more on quality than on price. So they wanted to be known as people that had the highest quality, not just the cheapest. And so they built a strong brand. They positioned themselves as a company dedicated to transforming the tech industry. In terms of product development, they then developed a comprehensive training program to train software engineers in Africa. They created a very rigorous selection process. At the point, they said it's harder to get into Andela than to get into Harvard. So meaning if Harvard is taking 5% of everybody that applies, Andela takes only 2%. So that's how rigorous they were in choosing. They wanted to choose the best of the best of the best in Nigeria. And then they now had a structured curriculum to train these people in technology. That was their product development. Team building. They now built a team of experienced educators, mentors, and people in the tech industry to support their pool of talent. Then strategic partnerships. They got partnerships with prominent tech companies and investors, such as the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, Google Ventures, and the African FinTech Foundry. These partnerships allow them to scale their operations and attract funding for their mission. Marketing. They marketed themselves as a platform for technology companies to access high-quality remote software development teams. So they now went to the US and other international companies and started promoting that, you can get very good, well-trained, reliable African developers through Andela. So they use blogging, they use content marketing, they use events and social media to reach potential partners and developers. Then customer experience. They focus on delivering high-quality software engineers. They made sure that they will ensure a very positive experience for their stakeholders. How many of us, I know many of us here are business owners, how many of us, after selling, make sure that we deliver a solid customer experience? That's very important. And then finally, expansion and growth strategy. So after proving the concept in Nigeria and Kenya, Andela began to expand to other African countries, including Rwanda, Uganda, and so on, until they even got listed on the New York Stock Exchange and became one of the first African countries to be worth $1 billion valuation. Somebody's $1 billion. They're what we call a unicorn. They're worth $1 billion today. That's what Andela did. People that just started, as an entrepreneurial venture with a couple of founders. So that's how. So Andela is one other success story that followed the innovative entrepreneurship life cycle. All right. So now let's move to Upwork. Do you know what Upwork is? Upwork is a platform where, so assuming you've ever tried to make money online, assuming you've ever tried to sell your services online, maybe you can build a website and then you go to Upwork and create an account and then now tell them that you can offer your services via the platform at a cost. You can also, if you can design logos, you can also sell your services on Upwork. If you can edit books, you can sell your services on Upwork. So yeah, so those are all different services you can sell on Upwork. Upwork is a freelance platform. Upwork. So how did they recognize the opportunity for Upwork? They scanned the environment and found out that 30 to 45% of the global population was unemployed or underemployed. So meaning there was high unemployment in the population. And they also had personal problems. They found out that it was difficult to find people that could work well around the world remotely. And they also had a vision of applying. They said, if we can have capital markets, why can't we have talent markets? So this is a gap in the marketplace that they discovered. If we can find capital markets, why can't we find talent? If we can have capital markets, why can't we have talent markets? Were branding their business. They now decided to go into brand the basis of product development. They built a good platform, a solid platform that could match freelancers to people that are looking for freelance services. They also built a solid team. They have company's values. They held Living Upwork Values, Love, LUV, and that was like an award for employees that were living their values. Strategic partnerships. There was also a merger between two companies, Odesk and Elance. And then they were able to use word of mouth. So they didn't have to do a lot of advertising. They were able to use word of mouth to find customers. And then expansion and growth. Their plan is to become the next Amazon. That plans to become, I'm sure many of us know what Amazon is. So their plan is to become the next Amazon. That's their expansion strategy. Next, Airbnb. Airbnb is another innovative business. They solved their own problem. So their problem was they needed additional income and they had a free spare room in the house. So they let it out and they said, why don't we do this for other people? So their branding, they were initially called Air Bed and Breakfast, but then they were renamed as Airbnb. Product development, they built their own website and started getting international orders around the world. Team building, they enlisted their former roommate and engineer to get started. Strategic partnerships, they had a partnership with Y Combinator. Y Combinator is an incubator, like a program similar to the one, a training program like the one we're doing, but it's based in the US. They now started to market their products and they paid attention to customer service. And then before you knew it, they blew. They got up to 8 rounds of funding from 32 investors, including Y Combinator, like I mentioned, Sequoia Capital, Keith Raboy, Andreessen Horowitz, and TPG Growth. So these are all venture capital firms that funded Airbnb and helped them grow to where they are today. Another innovative business we look at is Etsy. Etsy, I don't know if you know Etsy. Etsy is an online platform for selling crafts. So how did they recognize the opportunity? Their first version was a marketplace for computers. So first they started by selling computers online. After a while, they now said, okay, why don't we sell crafts online as well? So that was the second version of their business. Their brand identity, they chose the name Etsy because the founder just wanted a word that didn't really exist yet in the English dictionary. He wanted to be able to build the brand from scratch, so he picked Etsy. What does Etsy mean? Etsy doesn't mean anything in English. In Italian, it means oh yes, and in Latin, it means and if. So it's not a word that really had any meaning. He just picked it because he wanted a brand he could build from scratch. Then product development, they built the website and launched it within 2 months. Team building, by 2008, they had 50 employees in Etsy. Then strategic partnerships. Today, they have 134 partners, including Shopify, PayPal, and WordPress. For their marketing, they went offline. They didn't just focus only on online marketing. They went offline and started getting influencers, talking to influencers. And then these influencers were able to bring on board their loyal customers. It's something we'll talk about later, how to do marketing with influencers. So, yeah. Okay, then in terms of customer experience, by 2014, they had 54 million members. 54 million members by 2014. And then barely 10 years after they were founded, they achieved, they got listed on the stock exchange. In other words, they achieved initial public offer. An initial public offer is when your company gets listed on a stock exchange, and then instead of just getting money from a few investors, your family and friends, you now get anybody in the world can buy shares in your company and fund you. So that's a huge milestone for any company. And Etsy achieved this 10 years after their initial founding only. Okay, so that's about Etsy. Let's talk about Uber. Everybody knows Uber, right? Everybody knows Uber, right? Uber is very popular in Nigeria. If you don't know Uber, then I don't know where you've been, but I'm sure almost everybody on this call knows Uber. Yes, Uber. So Uber is another example of an innovative entrepreneur or an innovative enterprise. Remember how it was to hail taxis before Uber came around? It was so difficult. Sometimes the taxis will not be clean. Even when you find the taxis, it will be difficult to, they could be expensive. Sometimes you're stranded in the middle of the night. You're trying to call a taxi. You can't get a taxi. It was a very awkward process, and it was ripe for what we call disruption. So Uber now came on board. The founders, the brand, they chose the name Uber. Uber is a German word that means above all the rest. Above all the rest. So that's the name that the founders chose because that's what they wanted their company. They wanted their company to be above all the rest. And that's why they chose Uber. Then in terms of product development, their smartphone app, they built an app that was integrated with Google Maps so that users could see how far away the nearest cars were. Now, in terms of team building, they actually ran into a bit of trouble with their team. As you know, Uber hires drivers, and some of you may drive Uber. Some of them you may know Uber drivers. So they decided that those drivers are not their employees, but at the same time they'll be trying to tell drivers what to do and what not to do, and that kind of got the company in trouble. I think in another country, not in Nigeria, the drivers took Uber to court over this. So that just shows you also when you're building an innovative business, you need to keep an eye on the kind of arrangements you have with your team. Then strategic partnerships. Uber has several strategic partners, including Amex, Hilton, and PayPal. Amex, yeah, these are all global brands that partner with Uber. Marketing. So Uber's early growth was driven by word of mouth, and very little was spent on marketing in the beginning. In fact, when I started using Uber, it wasn't, for the first time, it wasn't an advertisement I saw that encouraged me. It was my sister. She called me and said, sis, I know you like using things that are efficient and things that are seamless that work. Download this app. You'll like it. So it was word of mouth, that got me interested in using it. It's not like this. So that's one thing. There's a saying that a good product sells itself. Is a controversial statement, but some people believe that as an entrepreneur, you should build a product that is so good that it sells itself, and you don't have to spend too much money on marketing. That's the strategy that Uber used. They also used a customer experience strategy. They tried to make it very seamless for people to use the app. They got people, influencers, comedians, actors, and venture capitalists to say, this is a seamless experience. And so this impacted their expansion and growth. To date, Uber remains one of the world's fastest growing companies. They operate in more than 400 cities around the world. So that's an innovative business that's how Uber grew from, just 2 people to being a global business. Okay, the next one we'll look at is Jumia. Do we all know Jumia? Do we know Jumia? Let me type in the chat. Okay. All right. So people, I can see some comments in the chat. 100% agreed. A good product sells itself. Abubakar Idris. Murtala Iliasu says, what an interesting lecture. May God reward you and Access Bank. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the comments. Very good. Ezekiel Omale, nice examples of companies whose growth is simply remarkable. Very good. Oladele or Yedele, with Access Bank, we're definitely going above all of that. Very good. All right, thanks for your comments. Keep them coming. So Jumia is another innovative business. Thank God we all know Jumia. So how did Jumia recognize the opportunity? So they had a business model. The company was founded by a company called Rocket Internet. And Rocket Internet, their business model was to replicate business models that have worked in the West or in developed countries, to replicate it in developing markets like Nigeria. Their vision was to change shopping experience in Africa. So you know how I said entrepreneurs are change agents. So Jumia is also a change agent, trying to be a change agent in shopping in Africa. And I'm sure, has Jumia changed the way we do work, or do we all agree that Jumia has changed the way we shop in Africa? Do we agree? Yes. Catherine is saying yes. Umar is saying yes. Okay. Yes, okay. I can see many people agreeing that yes, Jumia has changed the way we work in Africa. So their brand identity was to be seen as a multinational company versus Konga, which is seen more as a local homegrown company. Their product development, they invested about $50 million to $100 million in building their website, in customer service, in payment processing and warehouse operations. Then team building. They built their team by hiring people that have masters in business admin from top tier business schools like Harvard or consulting firms like McKinsey. In fact, their first female CEO, Juliet Anama, was a former Accenture consultant before she became their CEO. Then strategic partnerships. They also built a lot of strategic partnerships. They built partnerships with Infinix. So the ones that showed they used data. They went to Infinix and said, "Look at data. Look at how many people are looking for smartphones online. Why don't you come and enter the Nigerian market?" And they persuaded Infinix to get lists to leverage Jumia to enter the Nigerian market. They also tried to get a lot of logistics partners. DHL, FedEx, local providers, unfortunately, didn't have the structure to meet their needs. In terms of marketing, Jumia has high marketing costs. They spend a lot on marketing. They also spend a lot on discounts. They offer free shipping. They have a sales force called JForce as well that they use to market their platform. Their customer experience, they try to personalize their website to their customers as well as use data analytics to track customer experience. And then finally, expansion. They shifted from a retail model to a marketplace model. And now they are even, a couple of years back, they became one of the first Nigerian companies to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So that's about Jumia. So Jumia, again, just started, from nowhere and eventually became a unicorn, another unicorn, a great company that is worth over $1 billion based on valuation. Okay. All right. So, next, last but not least, we look at Clios. Last but not least, we look at Clios. Clios is my company. I also started it with the mindset of growing it into an innovative business. I also started with the idea of growing it into an innovative business. So the opportunity I recognized was that there was a gap in the marketplace. Like I told you, my background is in consulting. I found that everybody wanted to consult for the government. Everybody wanted to consult for oil and gas, for the banks. Nobody wanted to consult for small businesses. And I said, like, why? If Nigeria is to grow, you have to have a lot of small business consultants. So that was the gap in the marketplace I saw. So then the Clios brand is, Clios means glory in Greek. So that's how the name Clios came about. Clios is eponymous, so it's named after me. Clios means glory in Greek. And the tagline is value, targeted, and delivered. Okay. Then in terms of product development, we built our first minimum viable product in 2017, and then in 2019, we then built our current MVP, minimum viable product. We'll talk more about that as the class goes on. Then the team building, we built our team. Most of our consultants are members of a business honor society called Beta Gamma Sigma. It's a society that I belong to, and so they have a lot of talented people who can serve as consultants for small businesses. So that's how we got our first start. We also have certified consultants from SMIDAN, from EDC, and so on. Then strategic partnerships. We have partnerships with banks. So yes, Access Bank obviously is one of our partners. Rumoni is a digital marketing training agency that is a digital marketing training agency that our company partnered with to develop more digital marketers. And then our marketing strategy is mainly digital marketing. Our customer experience is to focus on conversion rates and make sure we have as high conversion rate as possible. And our growth strategy is to partner with other companies. We want to expand through partnerships with fintechs and so on. So so that's our growth strategy at Clio. So having looked through all these case studies of innovative enterprises, I'm hoping you've been inspired. I'm hoping you want to make your business innovative. And so the take-home question for you is, how can you make your business more innovative? I'm looking at the chat. If you have any thoughts, type them in the chat. How can you make your business more innovative? How can you make your business more innovative? Because let me give you an example. For example, assuming you run a pharmacy, you just have a shop somewhere in your estate, a brick and mortar store, just one room that you sell medicine. After listening to this lecture, I'm finding out that a lot of the companies that are innovative, they use technology to grow. They use technology to innovate. Maybe you now go back and think, okay, why don't I set up an online section for my business? Why don't I set up an e-commerce site so that it's not just people in my estate that will come and buy from me, but people around the world, people in Nigeria, other parts of Nigeria, people in other parts of Lagos, people in other parts of the north can all come and buy from you. So that's what I want you to go home with now. I'm looking at the comments in the chat. Let me see. Let me start sharing what people are saying. Abdurrahman Ahmad says by properly planning. Aisha too says by networking. Waziri says by creating a website. Salisu says by creating something new in your business. Patience Mibam says by excelling and doing better than my competitors through my branding. Hayatu Yusuf says by good products. Aminu Gulumbe says by thinking of new ideas for customer satisfaction. Ifeanyi Chukwuenebeli says by making an impact, discovering a gap and quality partnership. Gideon Duro by leveraging a technique that others do not know. Okay, innovation. Khalid Muhammad by expanding my business idea. Suleiman by impacting the community. Manir Bala by properly planning. Abubakar Babayo by making it a problem solver to their needs and wants. Okay, great. Derek Damibi says by identifying the challenges you have and seeking out for partnerships or collaborations with other businesses that have a better structure in areas you're lacking. Okay. Abdurrahman Shaba says by creating something new in your business. Excellent. So these are all very good answers. I want you to take it. If there's anything you're taking, okay, let's do a final poll. Before we shut down for the day. All right, let's see if you can remember which of these companies are innovative enterprises. All of the above. Perfect. Now people are very smart. Very good. Oopsie. Some people are saying only Jumia. It's not only Jumia. Uber is also innovative. Andela is also innovative. Everybody loves Jumia on this call. Okay, so it's actually all of the above. That's the correct answer. Okay, then okay, all right. So okay, Musa, I love this answer. Musa Madaki says, I'm a farmer. I can make my business more innovative by using technologies in the field. Excellent. Okay, Aliyu says, I can make my business more unique by doing what other people are not doing. Very good. All right, so it's been amazing speaking to all 600 of you. This has been a very insightful webinar. I'm happy to have interacted with you. Via the chat. So I look forward to seeing you on Thursday for module 2, which is going to talk about how to identify entrepreneurial opportunities. So thank you so much for joining the call and see you in a day or two. Bye and have a lovely day.